Welcome, everybody, to Pinfalls and Passports. For those who don't already know, this is a podcast for people just like you who love the sport of professional wrestling, and for members of our WWE Travel Community Discord server to keep us entertained and engaged during the year leading up to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. But we are here today not to talk about WWE. We are here for an AEW special, and I'm joined by my AEW in-house expert, Mirah. How you doing?
Hello, happy Friday, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this weekend.
Absolutely. So we're going to kick off the show today looking back at a Dynamite plus Collision, but really it was a 3-hour Dynamite special. Obviously, they're not doing Collision or they're not showing it on
hmm
Saturday night because we've got WrestleDream coming
Yes.
up, and we will go through our predictions and ahead of that on Saturday night. For those of you listening, if you're not a member of our WWE Travel community, come join one of the fastest growing pro wrestling communities online. You can find the Discord invite link here in the podcast bio. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Pinfalls and Passports. And we are on TikTok at Pinfalls_Passports. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to follow and subscribe to the podcast to keep up to date with all things involved with the WWE Travel community, Discord server, and wrestling in general. My name's Daddy Dom. This is Pinfalls and Passports. Mirah, what a week we've had in AEW. A 3-hour special, a Dynamite plus Collision. 2 hours, perhaps a little bit more interesting than the final hour, if we're being completely honest. But it was the go-home show for WrestleDream, which is taking place, obviously, this Saturday night. Big show for AEW. I think we're all very sort of excited for that. But what do we think of AEW's go-home show?
It left me with a lot of questions for this weekend. I'm excited to see some of the matches. I know we're gonna get into it. There's three that pops out to me that I'm very excited for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a pretty stacked card. Some of the matches um dating back with lots of sort of history, some good sort of stories going
hmm
on there. Some a little bit flung together, but should be good matches, sort of all the same. We started off the show on Dynamite with Renee Paquette doing a sit down with Tony Storm and Chris Statlander. This was great fun. First thing they start doing is throwing their clothes off. Tony said she needs her belt back, even if it means getting murdered by Statlander. They start then undressing. Renee Paquette takes her jacket off, throws it on the floor, and then they just decide to go to the ring and get it started, right?
I was like, oh, it seems like they have a lot of. They're very passionate about each other. It made me feel things. I was like, okay, so this is where we're taking it. I feel like this is gonna be a really good match. This is the first time they're going one-on-one,
Yeah.
ultimately. So we're set for an amazing match. I hope this is a good showing for Chris Statlander as the new champion. This is her first singles match. She's going against Tony Storm, someone who's been trailblazing in AEW since she's arrived. So I'm very excited for it. This match is my number one match. I'm very excited for.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Super hyped for this match. It was a little bit of a quick build, obviously, because of the way
Mhm.
that Chris came back and sort of got that belt. But I've enjoyed sort of what they've done. I liked it when they got in the ring, started really going off each other. Tony gets down on her knees and offers Chris a shot with the belt to the head. Chris refuses. Chris then gets on her knees, gives the belt to Tony, offers her to whack her around the face. Tony gives her back the belt and kisses her on the forehead. This should be a great match. Tony puts on absolute bangers, and I'm guessing this is going to be, a real statement match, hopefully for Chris Statlander as well.
Right.
Um,
And this helps elevate Chris too, like a lot, because again, Tony is Tony Storm.
yeah,
She doesn't need the belt.
she
We all know that.
no, she doesn't need the belt, but not many people beat her. So,
Yep.
well, in fact, no one really beats her. So, if Chris manages to retain that title at WrestleDream, that is going to be a hell of a statement and a hell of a lot of trust
hmm
that they're showing for Chris Statlander. So, let's see what happens there. What do we have next on Dynamite?
But we had Gates of Agony, and then we had versus the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah,
So that was a really action-packed match. I did enjoy it overall. Bobby and Shelton are beasts. They're up there in age. They still look like they're in their 30s, honestly. And they're just like going all. Ricochet, he was wearing an Eagle shirt. So, this week I can't shit on him too much. So I really can't. But I've been enjoying what Ricochet has been doing. He's building up, get to agony. I really am enjoying what he's been bringing to AEW. Like during the match, he had it was I think it's Bobby had a double clothesline outside the ring. Like these dudes are just doing crazy shit. I'm like, Bobby, like you're getting up there. Like why are we doing these action packed moves? And then Ricochet, he comes into the match, sneakily. Ref back is turned, and he hit Shelton with the kick, and Gates of Agony still win. And this is what this first team that actually beat the Hurt Syndicate,
Yeah.
because when they lost the
Absolutely.
belts, they weren't out there. So this
That's
is the
right.
first team to beat them. So I mean, we'll see how WrestleDream goes. I'm very excited for their match. I mean, MVP being involved in it, and since it's a trios match, will be very interesting.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I wasn't really sort of bothered about this match. And then when they announced we were doing this on Dynamite, I'm like, well, hold on a minute, we just had this on the last pay-per-view. We're having it
Yep.
again on the WrestleDream coming up this weekend. Now we're having basically the match again minus Ricochet and MVP. But what a real sort of outing really for GOA. I was really, really impressed. Really hard hitting match, really showcased the power of both teams. I really sort of enjoyed this, and it made GOA look like a threat, didn't it? They really
Yep.
dominated this match. They really dominated the Hurt business and really made themselves look really strong. So yeah, I'm excited for this. This should be fun. MVP threw the cane into the ring at one point, and I was a bit like, "Oh, what's going on here? Are we going to see some potential sort of heel turn?"
Right.
But then sort of, when you see sort of somebody from outside throw something in the ring sort of aimlessly, you always think the kind of worst, don't you? But no, then after the match, MVP actually then smashed that cane in half over I can't remember which member of Gates of Agony it was, but one of them. So yeah, this should be fun. Speaking of Hurt Syndicate, you heard a little rumor, I hear, about a potential contract
Yes.
expiring. Is that right?
Yeah, so I was, on Twitter, on YouTube, and I've been hearing that Mr. Cedric Alexander, his TNA contract, he didn't have a long contract, but I'm hearing that it's set to expire soon. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if he's going to ultimately resign, but in the WWE, they had the Hurt Business, and he was a part of them. So he could come and complete the Hurt Syndicate at WrestleDream if that is an option for him, if his contract is absolutely done at this rate. But he did appear on NXT TV a few weeks ago with the NXT Invasion Homecoming thing or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, but there is some speculation that he could be one of the ones set to arrive. His wife used to work for AEW Big Swole, but I know that relationship ended on harsh terms. But no door can be left unclosed, especially since he does have that history with the MVP Shelton. Um, I don't think he would throw away like a career opportunity if it would present it to him, as long as they can come on good terms and things of that nature. So that's a
Yeah,
potential arrival. Um,
maybe we will see. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't really see WWE doing much with Cedric. If they did sort of bring him back,
right.
they never really utilized him very much, did they? And they had him for a long time. So yeah, that might be interesting. We'll see what happens. And maybe give MVP a bit of time off out of the ring as well.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
That was my logic when I thought about it. I'm like, this could work because MVP can't move as well.
yeah.
And Cedric is like the high flyer of like the actual unit, and that's what Ricochet is. So him and Ricochet could have amazing matches, in my opinion. That was as soon as I heard it, I'm like, that's why. I'm like, yeah, I gotta bring this up.
Sounds
Okay, thanks
fun.
for this, sure.
Sounds fun. Let's see what happens. So next we had a little bit of a flashback to New York Comic Con, where Darby Allin attacked Moxley, who was obviously appearing on some sort of stage or something, doing some talk or something. Attacked him at New York Comic Con. So give us a clip back of there, and then we had a sort of cinematic face to face between Moxley and Darby Allin ahead of their I Quit match at WrestleDream. So they had it in this strange little room. There was like a bit of glass sort of separate. It looked like a bit of a sort of prison, sort
A
of
visitation room. It looked like,
room. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that kind of thing. So that was quite fun. You know, Moxley brought up some good points. He said, you know, we're at a no-win situation here. I know you're not gonna quit. I'm not gonna say I quit. So how are we gonna get out of this? And you know, it raises a good point. No way is Darby Allin gonna say I quit. I think we know that. Moxley, I think potentially he could say I quit, but he hasn't got a lot of history of it. I think there's only been one I Quit match in AEW, and that was Moxley and Eddie Kingston a couple of years ago, back at Full Gear for the title, and Mox won that one. But yeah, this is going to end probably with somebody completely unconscious, right? So they had their little sort of face-to-face between the glass break. You know, there's going to be no violence, but then, of course, thought Darby would have had his eyes out for this and should have expected this, but then appears Pac behind him and brutally attacked Darby Allin in his visitation room, blood squirting everywhere, a little bit OTT, but that was I thought it was good fun. It was a good little.
It was. I love that bit. Like, I mean, it kind of just brings it to a head with their feud at the moment. I felt like that was the proper way to do it. That was probably one of their best promos. I feel like AEW has had in a while. Like their pre-recorded or like their recorded segments. So I really did enjoy that a lot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bloodbath. I know that for a fact. I just don't.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Darby's already bled about 4 times before the match, hasn't he?
Yep.
So
And then, yeah. And then the focal point seems to be Brian Danielson. Brian Danielson's been a focal point of this. And I'm like, oh.
he has.
And he's ironically on commentary. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this ends.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear Darby sort of say, you know, I believe in the Death Riders. You know, I believe in the idea of what you're doing. I want to get on board, but you're the problem. You know, it's Moxley's actions and what they did to Danielson, the betrayal that sort of stopped him from sort of joining the Death Riders potentially. So that kind of added an interesting sort of element to it as well. But yeah, this is, you know, one of the really strong long-term stories that AEW have had recently, the strongest actually, and I think we see this coming to a head. I think this is the last dance for these two, right? They're going to move on to other things after this, surely.
Yeah, I would hope so, because this has been going on for a minute. If we do, I'm like, I don't even know where else we're gonna be taking it from this point. But I hope this is the end of it. But I know after this segment, it leads us into one of the members of the Death Riders, so Claudio Castagnoli versus Roderick Strong. Um, I wrote down in my notes, grab super technical. That's what it really was. It was a really good match. I really did enjoy it, and this was Claudio's entrance,
Yeah,
right?
so
In AEW,
absolutely, yeah. I saw the graphic when he came out, say 99 wins, and I thought, oh, okay, here we go. And you know, it was nice to see a Death Riders match without them cheating to win. In fact, there was no interference here at all. Claudio won clean, so that was good stuff. And 100th win, marking that for him. He's had a lot of matches then, hasn't he? In AEW, that's incredible.
I didn't even think it was that many, but I'm like, okay, no, he has been there for what, over 2-3 years at this point.
Longer than that, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's been about 4 years. But I think it's about 150 odd matches or something. So yeah, he's been keeping himself busy. But yeah, solid match. Claudio picks up the win, and then we went to the birthday party for Don Callis. So the Don Callis family was having a birthday pie. They had a little table set out. Not everybody turned up. Don't know why. Don Callis said sort of 25 members of the Don Callis family. There only about sort of 7 or 8 of them there.
So oh no, we confirmed it's 13. It's 13 members actively.
13 members. So one notable absence was obviously Takeshita, because
Mm-hmm.
he came in via a video message, a birthday cameo that he'd done for Don Callis for his birthday. And this was funny. It was very much sort of sucking up to Don because obviously Takeshi's just won the IWGP Championship. He is the new Japan top title holder currently, and he was very thankful for
Yes.
Don for all the help and support that he's given him to sort of get it to there. This was hilarious because I know about you the whole time. I was just looking at Okada's face when
Yup.
and he picks up a TV remote and then everybody just turns the TV off halfway through it. Everyone turns around, oh, sorry, I must have pressed the wrong button. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
That was great. I feel like this is going to be interesting for them this weekend. You know, they have a tag match. They have to, you know, coexist if they want to bring the titles down. As he said on commentary, he's like, we're going to bring home all the gold. And I'm like, I don't know. We might have some internal
Oh, you
conflict here.
reckon? Yeah, this is going to make things sort of very interesting this weekend. And this could potentially be the first sort of real sort of rift we've had in the sort of Don Callis family, I think, for a while. Something that's a real sort of split, probably the first sort of major, perhaps, person leaving since Kenny Omega. So be interesting to see sort of what happens there. But I've been loving, you know, a lot of people sort of been complaining about sort of Okada stuff recently. I enjoy it. I think he's enjoying himself. I think he's funny. And this was hilarious. This version of Okada is just gold.
It was
Yeah.
golden. It was just great. Like, you're looking at him, he plays the TV, you're like, oh, he's matured, he's shown growth. And you know, he gets to the part, he's like, Don, I'm gonna bring the belt home. And he goes, oh, click the wrong button. And it's just golden. It's just like, oh, this is great. Because we can already see what's gonna happen. Like, we can already foresee it. I can even see them having a bit of them in, like, they, you know, schedule them to have a therapist come in and they talk through their problem, just some shit like that. Like, I'm just excited to see how this goes.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
100%. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. What? Then we had the Don Callis family out next for a match. Is that right?
Yeah, so it was Hurtacero, Josh Alexander, and Mark Davis. Mark Davis is back. He came back, I think, the following, or like the AEW Collision before, and he had to attack who was it, Kenny Omega or somebody? Or no.
Well,
Ibushi.
yeah, and
Right.
he came back and he attacked Shibata, didn't he? Like, with his broken femur, which I thought was a bit strange. But yeah, Mark Davis, of course, the other half of Aussie Open, and great to see that he hasn't been left out in the cold. Obviously, one half of that team is doing very well for themselves at the moment, but glad to see that Mark Davis is back. And they were against Jurassic Express and Kenny Omega.
Yep. So that was, the match was really good. You can see, like, you can see Kenny being gassed throughout the match, but he was still having like good moments. I feel like, hate to say this, I feel like we're getting to a point where a lot of people that I grew up on watching fully, and like when they're active, like, we're hitting a point they're gonna start retiring.
Yeah.
But no, Kenny Omega, he can still move, but you can see he's taking his time. There was a point in the match where Omega, he's like not on the ring apron, but Jack Perry, he's trying to tag somebody in, and he's like, do I want to get on his apron? He gets on there nice and gingerly. He tags him in. He goes after Josh Alexander, especially after what happened last week. And then he's pulling out all the stops. He did a moonsault, the knee to the back to Alexander, and then Luchasaurus, man, like, you can, like, he's great. He's great. Like, he comes in, I think he choke slams someone or something. I'm just like, damn,
Yeah.
I love this. I missed him. And it's just like Jack Perry, he sacrificed himself. He took the clothesline for Mark Davis.
He did.
Like, he's
Yeah.
like, I was thoroughly, wasn't too thrilled about the match when it first was announced, but seeing them in action, I'm like, oh, this was really good. This was really good.
Whoa, whoa,
Um,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
oh,
Like
well,
I hate, I hate this for Jack Perry. I feel like, he was gonna go and do something else, but we do love that song, don't we? We're gonna get this
listen,
wave
we
in.
move, we adapt, we move, we
Yeah,
adapt. I think that's where
yeah.
he's at right
I'm just
now.
glad he hasn't come
Uh,
back looking all ripped and stuff. Like he's come back like he hasn't like put in
yes,
any effort. He just looks like Jungle Boy Jack Perry again.
yeah.
Really sort of soft and young and baby face looking again. So yeah, it should be fun. So one thing I did notice, did you see the clone of Don Callis?
Yes, I did. He was in the front. He had a little scar and everything. Yep, it was
That
great.
guy, that was crazy. That was so confusing because Don Callis comes out and then the camera switched to this lookalike of Don Callis.
Hmm.
This guy looked like just like Don Callis's clone, didn't he? And we've got some clones already in the
Yes.
Don Callis family. So maybe there's going to be an entire clone Don Callis family. They're going to maybe they're just
I mean,
cloning them
it's
all one by
possible.
one.
I mean, it's very possible. And yeah, it'll be another 25 members that we don't recognize probably. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be going. But at the end of the match, ultimately Jurassic Express Omega wins. It was a solid match overall. But then we had some fighting at the end of this match between the Don Callis family. You and then you had the Young Bucks come
Yep.
out. They was, after Jurassic Express. They almost kicked Kenny, and then they stopped. They caught themselves. He's like, "You have a match. Like what is the problem? Like you have a match. Just
Yeah.
wait." And
That-
at the end, Luchacero clothesline both of them, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a good match. I wasn't as excited for that match, but now I
yeah.
am. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
we'll see how
and
this
Kenny
goes.
sure
We'll see how
looked
this goes.
conflicted when the Young Bucks came out and started attacking
Mhm,
the team. He
mhm.
just sort of tagged with, especially after Jack Perry put himself in the way of taking that big sort of shot from Mark Davis, which was interesting because obviously we know that Kenny had his doubts about Jack Perry, so that was just making
Yep.
sure that everybody knows that he is a good guy now and he can be trusted. But then, of course, the Young Bucks come down. They're against Jurassic Express at WrestleDream, and obviously that adds the confliction for Kenny Omega because obviously
Mhm.
the elite. So it'll be interesting to see if anything sort of happens sort of further on from there with Bucks and Kenny as well. But yeah, you're right about Kenny. He was looking quite old in that ring. I
Yeah.
felt a bit sad. I have to say, it was the first time I saw it. I thought, yeah, he's definitely never going to WWE, is he? Like, no,
Yeah. No,
no.
not right now. Like I think he'll probably just
Yeah,
retire and like produce or
yeah,
something. But no, I love Kenny. I just know he's getting
yeah,
older.
absolutely. Next we had Sky Blue against Jamie Hayter. And obviously we've got Jamie Hayter against another member of the Triangle of Madness at WrestleDream, Thekla. But part of this as well is the build up to sort of Blood and Guts because there's been a Blood and Guts challenge sort of put out there. Pretty good match. Jamie Hayter gets the win, as we think we probably could have expected there with the Haterade over Sky Blue. And then we get Thekla on the television doing a little promo before their match at WrestleDream, saying that no one can sort of
Yes.
beat her. Obviously, this is building up to another sort of multi-woman match at Blood and Guts. That looks like they're going to be doing it around here. I think they need to sort of build up a little bit more. We're going to need a good match tomorrow to really pique the interest, I think, around these ladies for that Blood and Guts match, because at the moment it doesn't seem like there's enough in there to stick them in a cage. So hopefully this is going to sort of set fire
Right.
a bit more this on WrestleDream. This
Like,
feud, should I say?
I feel like, yeah, I feel like they need some shenanigans or something tomorrow. Jamie Hayter gets fed up and she's like, fuck it, we're doing it. You don't have a choice. It's been approved already. We're gonna be in that
Yeah.
cage. That type of thing. No, during the match, I actually got This Is Awesome chance, and it was indeed awesome. I did enjoy that match thoroughly. It was one of the only women's matches on Dynamite.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did see our
Um,
champion, though, Mercedes Moné, briefly bragging about her 10th title win. Another belt for her collection there. This one from Denmark, where
yes.
and she was very proud to say that she, on Saturday, I think it will be, she will become the longest reigning TBS champion of all time. Is that right?
Yeah, well,
Is it today?
today she's at 5. Yep, today is 509 days. Tomorrow she'll be even
There we
longer
go.
champion. But I think she will be at WrestleDream. I believe she said that because she has a match tonight for the CMLL championship against
That's right.
Persephone. But I think she said she will be at WrestleDream, but she doesn't have a match yet. So she'll be out there in
Yeah,
some capacity.
absolutely. And we got then next the trios titles. Is that right?
Yes, it was LFI versus the Ops. It was a pretty solid match. I kind of knew who was going to win coming into this. Unless they were trying to throw us a swerve, I didn't see LFI winning, but the Ops did take the win. Um, there was also a beatdown at the end of that
Yeah.
match. And Hangman comes and helps. He gets in the ring because Hangman was on commentary. But the Ops win. It was like a little face off between Hangman and Samoa Joe. But excited for that match. I wish there was a little bit more
Yeah.
story behind it. I know the story with them is like, oh, Samoa Joe helped, at All In, make ensuring that, the Death Riders wasn't out there. And I get that part. And I get like, obviously he's goaded, but I needed more to be invested on. I feel like that's where
Yeah.
I'm at with it. Like I need more, especially with it being Hangman. If this is your men's champion, let's have
Yeah.
this
I think
keep
they tried
going.
to sort of make Samoa Joe out to be the bad guy in the last sort of couple of weeks. Let's be honest, people aren't going to boo Samoa Joe.
No,
And I feel
no.
that tonight they kind of sort of U-turned on that kind of idea. They're happy just having a great match between Joe and Adam Page. And, at the end of the day, once Joe is out of this match, presuming he doesn't win, he's going to go back to what he's been doing, hasn't he? Been a babyface, and it
Mhm.
was good to see those trios titles
Yep.
actually getting defended. I know it was all just to really sort of build up a
Yes.
bit about the big title match at WrestleDream, but it was all good. But yeah, post match we had LFI sort of spitting on Adam Page, wasn't it? And
It was
Roosh,
Roosh.
Roosh,
Roosh
yeah,
spat at
spat
him.
on him,
Yep.
and then Hangman sort of went in to sort of attack him, and then it was all a bit weird. But yeah, should be fun. But that was Dynamite. Then we had sort of Collision straight afterwards. It was really a 3 hour sort of
Right.
Dynamite. Wasn't a lot sort of noteworthy really there, was there? But
Not really. I mean, you had Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly versus Yuta and Daniel Garcia. Um, I like the match. It was okay. I feel like what they're really doing right now is building up Daniel Garcia in the Death Riders. So, they took the win ultimately, and then again, there was another beatdown after Tony Khan. If you're listening, right? Let's limit ourselves to beatdowns after matches. That's it was literally in my notes. And we limit ourselves, please? But after that match, there was another beatdown. Strong comes out. Ishii comes out. They're still outnumbered. They're trying to help. Darby comes out. He's literally dragging himself. He's getting beat up by every Death Rider member in God's
yeah,
name, and he's just still showing heart. Okay, he pulls out the AEW flag, gets in the ring with Moxley, and it's like, this is what it means to him, and then he gets laid out.
that's right.
So,
Yeah, he pulls out that flag that he mounted on Mount Everest, his Mount Everest flag, wasn't it?
mhm,
And Moxley promptly delivered him a Death Rider on the flag. But yeah, Darby coming
yep,
out. I love the fact he was bleeding before he even got shown on the screen through the huge big plaster that was already on his head, which was clearly covering up another wound that had been bleeding from earlier. So
yep.
that was good. Next, we had Megan Bain versus Holly Cameron. pretty sort of okay-ish match.
Okay, it was okay.
Yeah.
Before the match, we got a promo out of Megan Bayne, which I feel like I haven't really seen her like speak on the mic a lot. So it was actually nice to see. FTR was out there as well, so it was a lot of heat she was taking from that point too. It was an okay match. I mean, not really sold on it. I think this is leading to that blood and guts match, in all
Yeah.
honesty. In some way, shape, or form. I'm just at the point where I'm like, okay, so how are we gonna get these women together, the good guys versus the bad? The I just don't know how we're gonna have them join forces ultimately for this, but I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here. Um, and we'll get into this later, but I had beef with Tony Khan because why the fuck is Willow still on 0 hour? But we will get into that in a few moments.
Yeah, Megan Bayne, she really does look like the like somebody that could lead a women's division, a real contender.
Mhm.
Like you said, she hasn't really said much of recent. She could probably do with a little bit more practice. So I'm glad they're giving that
Yeah.
to her. But yeah, it was good to
Yeah.
hear her speak, and it was good to see Harley Cameron on having a wrestling match as well on TV. Good to see her back. And then to end Collision, Don Callis family.
Oh, once again, it was a trios
Another
match, right?
trios.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
trios. This is the third trios match in the
Mhm.
evening, yeah. Versus Mark Briscoe,
That is
Bandito,
true.
and Brody King, our sort of tag champions.
Mhm. And yeah, it was the tag champions, and then it was who was it from Don Callis? Because I watched it while I was at work today. LOL. Oh,
It was
listen.
Fletcher,
Wait, Lance Archer. Wait, no, right? Yeah, it was Lance
Fletcher,
Fletcher,
Archer, and Rocky Romero.
Rocky,
Yeah,
Rocky
yeah,
Romero. There we
yeah,
go. There we
yeah.
go. Um, I don't know how this. Like, I was only excited for the end of the match because we know what happens at the end of the match. So Brody though, Mark Briscoe take the win, but at the end of the match, the evil clone comes out, and then Okada hits, I think, Bandito over the head with the belt. Brody
Yeah.
gets hit too. So I'm like, I'm very excited for this tag match. It's WrestleDream. Again, I feel like they could have had this match on Dynamite. They didn't need to do 3 hours. They could have just had it be like a special where it was just 2 hours or 2.5.
Yeah, they could have done
Yeah.
without a collision this week, to be honest. I don't think we needed it. Just
Mhm.
give us 2 hours of Dynamite. That would have been absolutely fine. I didn't need to add this hour on. Obviously, they added it on because they've got WrestleDream on Saturday, but they could have just
Right.
given an hour wrestling to the fans in the audience or something. We definitely
Mhm.
didn't need another hour of AEW, but we got it anyway. So there you
Just do the count.
go. Right. That brings us on then to our predictions for
Dun,
Wrestle
da, da,
Dream.
da.
So for the second pay-per-view in a row, we're having a tailgate brawl. And I
Mhm,
think we've got
mhm,
3
mhm.
matches planned for
The
that. Is that right?
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's FTR versus Jet Speed. Then we have Eddie Kingston and Hook versus to be announced because we don't have that announcement yet. They made like a brief announcement on Collision, I believe, like, yo, we're gonna be there. Somebody pull up, essentially. That's exactly what they said. And then it'll be Harley Cameron, Willow Nightingale versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. But going into 0 hour, who do you think is gonna win out of FTR versus Jet Speed?
Yeah. I mean, I feel that FTR, you're not going to have them lose on a 0 hour, are you? I mean, they've taken a few L's recently. Sorry, Jet Speed. I'm going with FTR for this one.
I'm going Yeah, same here. I'm going with
Yeah,
FTR
and they're
too.
bulking up their little posse at the moment with Megan Bayne now
Mhm.
part of the crew by the looks of things officially. So I don't think that'll necessarily have anything to do with the match because they are having another match sort of after also on this 0 hour, this tailgate brawl. But Eddie Kingston and Hook,
Right.
can't really make a prediction on that because I don't know who they're going to be facing. Eddie King. This is a strange combination, isn't it? What do you think of these guys?
I feel like actually it's not as strange as I thought it was going to be. I think they vibe off each other. It's like a brotherly type of tag team. I know they said that they want to focus on the tag team championships, just like how FTR wants to go back to focusing on the tag team championship. So I think this is going to play a good part. This will take us into the end of the year, into the new year, for the men's tag team division anyway. So I feel like both of those matches, FTR, Jet Speed, Eddie Kingston and Hook and whoever they face, it'll definitely help. I think Hook and Eddie do win, but we just don't know who it's going to be yet.
Unless
So we'll
just
see.
pull any old tag team from out the back, or we get some kind of surprise or return or something like that. We'll see. Then we've got Holly Cameron and Willow Nightingale teaming up against Megan Bain and Penelope Ford, Divine Vanity. You mentioned you had some thoughts on Willow Nightingale, everybody's friend. Willow Nightingale does anybody not like Willow Nightingale backstage? She is pally with everyone, isn't she?
Well, yeah, like I feel like she's just very likable. She's over with the crowd. This is what the third pay-per-view in a row, third or fourth, where she's been on 0 Hour. Like, and I know it's because we had the TBS championship, and I know we have the AEW Women's Champion, which she hasn't had a match for in a while for either of those. So like I know we're trying to pull her in a different direction. Is it going to be the women's tag team belt? Like, is that what it is? Because I really need her to get the recognition she rightfully deserves, because she should be on their main card. In all honesty, I know it could be her and Chris going through any feuds, because they had one last year. But I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is she on 0 Hour?
I mean, I do think that this Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, I don't think they're going to win. But I do think this is going to be a tag team that will carry on for a while. We know that Harley Cameron looking for a tag partner and getting declined left, right, and center by everyone that she's been stalking. But we all know that Willow will not say no, will she? She's not going to say no to anybody. She just wants everybody to be happy. So yeah, I do think they'll take the loss here, but I think we'll see this partnership continue into the tag title, women's tag title tournament. That's my prediction there.
Believe so as well.
Let's get on to the main card. So we got Roderick Strong and the conglomeration, so Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Tomohiro Ishii versus the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Pac. How do you see this one go, Mirah?
Death Riders, for sure. And we'll get into the later. I feel like it just makes sense, especially if Darby does take the one later in the night. Yeah. Like you have to even it out.
Four of them. If you've got
I feel like they
want to
build them
already, and one of them's not going to be around because they're against Darby Allin later, it's going to be hard to have somebody come in for outside interference to get involved.
Right.
So yeah, they're all there already. So
right.
But yeah, I agree. Yeah, Death Riders for this one. Don't know what order they're going to be in, but let's go to the singles match for the AEW TNT Championship. The Protostar, Kyle Fletcher, our champion, against Mark Briscoe, who won the number one contender ship match to be in this match. I've been betting it against Briscoe constantly on my predictions for the last few pay-per-views and have got it wrong every single time. Are you going to bet against Mark Briscoe?
Looking at it, and I just don't see him taking it off Kyle. Just don't see it. It could happen. I just don't see it. So I'm going.
I didn't
with
see
Kyle.
Briscoe beating MJF either, or being the number one contender, or anything else, any other single match that he's been in winning. But yeah, no, I think you're right. Kyle Fletcher's giving us top for a while.
You mentioned MJF too. MJF is still like he's very vengeful. So I mean, he can ruin it. He can ruin the match too.
He could. He absolutely could. Yeah. No, absolutely. Then we've got our tag titles. Brodido. This is going to be one of the most interesting matches of the night. Bandito and Brody King versus the Don Callis family of Okada and the new IWGP champion Takeshita. This is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. I think there's more story between the Don Callis family members that are fighting in this than there is actually in the actual match itself. The real story is going to be what happens between Okada and Takeshita, and can they work together? Can they live as one? Can they remain in the Don Callis family together, or are these two big, huge Japanese superstars destined to go their different paths after this? What do you think?
Gonna be interesting to see how they work together. It's gonna be butting heads because it's like your older brother and you're looking up to him, and like your little brother, he's doing more than you than what you did or what you were doing, type of thing. So it could be like that envious thing that plays into it. Ultimately, I think they ain't gonna be able to coexist. It's gonna be a problem, and Brodito is gonna retain. That's what I'm thinking. But again, they could see eye to eye. Right
Well,
now, I don't see
I
it.
definitely don't
I
think
don't
they're
see
going to
it.
see eye to eye.
Mhm.
It's either they're gonna put the straps on them while they're feuding, because they're gonna play the old, this tag team hates each other, but they're the champions, so they'll just carry it on
Yep.
through, or they'll do it just to cause them the match, to cost them the match, which is what I think is happening. I think Brodito are retaining
Yep.
here as well, and I do feel that this is really going to be interesting to see what happens with Okada and Takeshita. I think something's going to happen, in my opinion. I think this
Mhm.
ends with one of them leaving the Don Callis family. I don't know if it happens at WrestleDream, but we'll see. I'm not sure which one it will be, but I have a feeling it might be Okada. So we will see, and I hope so as well, actually, because it doesn't need to be in any family. We got to
Yeah, he can stand on his own.
We've got a women's singles match that isn't for a title on a pay-per-view. Tony Khan, what are you thinking? This is fantastic. Well done. Great work.
Yes, exactly. I'm very happy about this match. I feel like this is going to lead us to Blood and Guts. This could lead us to a new contender. We just don't know, but I'm very excited.
Jamie
for it.
Hayter versus Tekla. This is going to be, two of the hottest sort of talents in the women's division. Going to be a great match, and great to see a match on a pay-per-view that isn't for a title. I can't remember a women's singles match on a pay-per-view that wasn't for a title. Can you? I'm sure that there might one, but I'm not sure
No,
that.
there had to have been
Yeah.
like one, but I feel like typically it is for a belt or some type of stimulation.
So yeah, this should be good. Any ideas on who's going to win this?
I want to say the heel wins. Tekla wins. I think she. Yeah.
Okay.
I think she wins.
I'm going to go with my English counterpart, Jamie Hayter. Come on, England. Let's see Jamie win. Yeah, I don't know. This could go sort of either way, and it could also end in a no contest, which I think is probably most sort of likely. And as you say, leading up to sort of Blood and Guts. I'm not sure either of these could really need to take a loss at the moment, so it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Next up, Hurt Syndicate, Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP versus The Demand, Ricochet, and Gates of Agony. We've got Bishop Khan and Leona in a Tornado Trios match for the second pay-per-view in a row. What are your thoughts?
I know, what was it? The Demand picked it up at the last pay-per-view. Her Syndicate got it back during the homecoming show.
Sorry, forgetting. Yeah, they've done that and that one. Yeah.
So this is, the
Well,
third
they
match.
had last night as well, of
This is
course,
the.
didn't they? Oh, sorry. They had
Oh
on
yeah,
Dynamite not last
yeah.
night, but night before. So is it
Mhm.
2-1 to Gates of Agony
Oh,
and Demand? Would you say?
yeah. I think it is 2-1. I think it is 2-1 in a match. Think the Hurt Syndicate takes it. on the pay-per-view. I think they take it. I just don't know where this is going to lead us. I think the goal for either team is getting to the trios title.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
goal.
absolutely. I really want them demand to win this. I was really impressed with Gates Agony the other night. I'm really sold on them now. Toliana is an absolute beast.
Mhm.
I hope they do win, but I do feel that the Hurt Syndicate are gonna take the win here just simply because they lost on Dynamite. I think that's gonna be it. I think Hurt Syndicate. Yeah, I'll go with that. Right. On to the main business. We got the big women's title, women's world championship match. Chris Statlander versus Timeless Tony Storm. Singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Chris Statlander, she's
Yeah.
retaining.
Yeah.
She's retaining. I don't see it going any other way. Also, remember, Miss Mercedes Moné says she will be at WrestleDream, and you know she got PTSD from Tony Storm, so maybe she'll do some tomfoolery. But I think Chris wins cleanly. I don't think it will be anything. But I'm very excited to see this match. This is one of the 3 matches
I
I'm
think
very
this is going to
excited for.
be an incredible match. I think these two have clearly got good chemistry. The short sort of amount of time they've had to sort of build this has been really, really good stuff. This is going to be an awesome match, and you're absolutely right. Chris Statlander is taking this. This is the match where Chris Statlander really gets to cement herself as a legitimate champion, and a win over Tony Storm is really going to legitimize her reign. Chris Statlander takes it clean. Yep. So we have 2 more matches. Let's start. I don't know which one's going to headline, but let's start with Adam Page versus Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship. Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Adam Page.
This is
Because they want to build him up. They want to give him like wins, just like similar to Chris. They want to give him the wins to help legitimize him. Obviously, on the mic, he sounds great. Feel like he has a lot of fans behind him. He's getting like a lot of that support. And then there are some fans that don't want him to be champion. But I think this is just building him up. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Type of thing.
A little bit like when Cody sort of had the title in WWE. They set up certain matches, AJ Styles and that kind of thing. This is one of those kind of matches for Hangman. It's going to be a great match. You're going to get a great match out of these two because they're both fantastic wrestlers. But Samoa Joe is not the threat that he used to be. Let's be honest about it. He is capable of a very good match here, but not capable of holding that championship. So yeah, Hangman Adam Page to retain. Then finally, and I do.
We got one more. We have one more.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
The $500,000 match.
Yes, of course, the money match. So apparently, all you need to do is knock on Tony Khan's door enough times and say you want a money match. Because you lost all your money at the casino. And if you knock loud enough, Tony Khan will just give you $500,000 and say, right, okay, whoever wins this match gets $500,000. That's how it works, right? Yeah. Easy as that. So he's got loads of money. What does he care? Yeah.
I got to knock on his door. Oh.
So yeah, Young Bucks
for real.
Against Jurassic Express. Who you got for this one?
Jurassic Express. I think they're trying to build them up. Get their tag team presence shown again. So I think it'll be them. It could well off be the Young Bucks, but I think how Wednesday ended, more than likely it'll be them.
I think the fact that money's on the line, I'm not really sure what Luchasaurus is going to do with the $250,000. And I don't think Jack Perry needs it. His dad was loaded. So Young Bucks need the money. They want to walk around with that bag of cash again. We need to sort of go into that story a bit more of them carrying it around and then perhaps people stealing it and then they can lose it all over again. So I'm going to go with the Young Bucks. They're winning that 500K.
Okay, I can see though. I can see that. I can see that because they're the broke Bucks right now.
We
So
need we need the rich Bucks.
it makes
don't
sense.
We need the
Mhm,
not that rich, is it? But fairly rich Bucks. Right, let's get on to what I think will probably be our main event. And if it's not the main event, it will certainly be the most brutal match of the evening. Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley in an I Quit match. This is going to be painful to watch. This is going to be painful to take part in, sure.
Yep.
It's going to be brutal. This, I think, is the final crescendo for these two before they move on to whatever's next in both of their careers. Who you got?
We'll go with the underdog on this one. Darby Allin. Somehow, some way, he gonna get Moxley to say I quit.
Yeah, I think this is, they've been building up to this, and Darby needs the win, the big win over Moxley, the one of the most prominent AEW champion that's ever been. This is what he needs to get him up to that next level, to get him in that championship sort of conversation. We know that Moxley beat him last time out. This time, Darby Allin wins. He's going to get Moxley to say, I quit. I have no idea how he's going to do that, but it is going to be gross.
And I think the conglomeration will come out to deter, the other Death Rider members out of the match. So it'll hopefully remain one-on-one as much as it can. But somehow, some way, this crazy motherfucker is going to get him to say I quit. I just don't know how. And tomorrow I'll be sitting at my TV like, what the fuck are we watching?
I mean, it's very possible that neither of them say I quit. That just the one that is dead loses or completely passed out unconscious is the one that loses the match. Very possible that they go down that route, because I'm not sure either of these guys have got the words I quit in them, but we will see. I am very excited for this. I'm looking forward to that match, and I'm looking forward to WrestleDream, Mirah. Anything else on AEW chat you want to touch on this week? Oh, we didn't mention Andrade.
Oh, yeah. Andrade's going through some things right now. So his WWE contract, TKO contract, since he was fired, it wasn't like his contract expired or he was released. So he won't be appearing anywhere for the next, and I believe it is a year. It is a year. Just seen it. So they have the clause in their contract now that if you're fired for anything, there's a non-compete for a
this
year.
is really interesting. I don't know what made Andrade think that he was able to wrestle. He clearly thought he could just, if he was fired, go and sign. So there's obviously been some miscommunication along the way. The fact that he is not on TV anymore, and the fact that WWE's done a cease and desist to AEW, tells me that clearly it is in the contract, because it's not like he's going to pull it out of sort of thin air and say, okay, well, this is, we don't want this, you found a loophole, we're going to close that loophole. It's either in the contract or it's not in the contract, isn't it? Simple as that. What made Andrade think that he was okay to just go and sign for AEW? I've got no idea. Very interesting sort of story there. But this 1 year, obviously the 90 days, is that because there's gonna be a sort of fine? Is this a sort of a stipulation of the contract that if you break that, you can't compete for a year? So we can't work?
Yeah, so it says new TKO contracts have a clause where if you are fired for cause or breach, there's a 1 year non-compete. The older contracts had this, but it's standard now. This is the holdup involving Andrade. But 1 year is absolutely
but they're
fucking
not paying
insane.
him, right?
Not to my
Well,
knowledge. I
this
don't
is
even think they're
the whole.
paying
But
him.
I can't see this standing up in court. You can't fire someone and tell them they can't go and get another job for a year, especially not through an independent contractor. I can't see this standing up in a courtroom for a year, surely.
Like TKO is just like trying to, like, I guess, like corner their talent, especially if they're not doing what they want them to do. But I feel for the talent, because it's like, well, if you're not giving me the stories, the matches that I need to progress like my character, what the fuck else am I supposed to do? And I think he had a violation for, I
Yeah.
think, substance or something like that. I think like he had like a wellness violation, and it could have been other things too. But I'm just like, 1 year is kind of crazy. 90 days, okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know
But
how
a
you can
year,
fire someone and tell them they're not allowed to go and earn any money doing their craft for 12 months. That is kind of ridiculous. But we will see, and I'm sure there's more to that story. So as soon as we hear any more on the Andrade situation, we'll be sure to keep you guys informed. I think that's all for today, Mirah. Oh, don't know if we might have lost Mirah. She may have disappeared. I don't know where Mirah's gone. Looks like she just lost her internet. Just in time. Anyway, we're finishing up. Thank you so much for listening today, everyone. She's back. Hi, Mirah. Don't know where you went now. I was just going to say goodbye without you. But yeah, we're really hyped for WrestleDream this weekend. Really looking forward to the show. We hope you guys enjoy it too. And we'll be back next week with our thoughts on the results of WrestleDream, I'm sure. I believe the guys have got some WWE content coming out that they're recording later on this evening. So get following, get subscribed, wherever you listen to your podcast, guys. We've got loads more content coming your way. My name's Daddy Dom. Thank you so much, Mirah. We've been Pinfalls and Passports. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all soon.